You're listening to KFI AM 640 on demand.
Iggy Azalea with Ariana Grande. What a move on this Taylor Swift moment. No, I know. Tony's like, well, I don't know. I don't care any of this. Who cares about any of this stuff? Tony's got a stogie right now. He's like, hey, what do I care about these guys? Huh? They're all the same to me. Gabagool. I don't know. I'm so sorry.
Look, if it ain't metal, punk, or old ska, I probably don't know it.
Yeah, you and me both, brother. I mean, here's the thing. I'm lucky that I've been able to work in this industry for a little bit and have access to pop music. I love pop music. It's very interesting, but I have a hard time with the obsession, the fervor, the fanaticism. But, you know, look, we got to give her a due. Taylor Swift really, there's really not anybody like her. And I think that there's probably not been anybody like her in her generation for sure, but even before that, just the absolute domination of the conversation, which I think is especially impressive in an era when everyone is so doing other things when it comes to pop culture. But here we are on the other side of 9 o'clock. Tony, we survived. Mark Ronner, there was no rapture when the Taylor Swift record dropped.
Well, if there was, I got left behind.
Yeah, well, maybe that's what it is. You look out the window and see a bunch of people.
I wasn't expecting to go.
People with friendship bracelets just floating up into the air.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to be in that demographic one way or the other.
There you go. All right. Well, I will say this. Listen to a couple songs, and with your permission, I'm going to just play some moments here of the new songs from Taylor Swift's The Life of a Showgirl. Many of them are explicit. We won't be playing those here on terrestrial radio. I understand if you're going to be like, I can't do this, but we're going to listen to try to analyze.
Hang on a second. There's dirty Taylor Swift?
Oh, yeah. I think tracks 4 through 12.
I had no idea.
Now
I'm interested suddenly.
Oh, now you want to know.
Yeah.
Well, one of them includes It Girl Sabrina Carpenter as well, Life of a Showgirl. Can't play that for you. That's got an E next to it. That means explicit. But let's just listen to a little bit of this first track off of the new record, The Fate of Ophelia. The Fate of Ophelia. We got that one. The next track is called Elizabeth Taylor. Let's see what she's singing about here. I hate to stop this, and I don't want to be rude, because I know this is important to a lot of people. But this sounds like, to me, a little bit like a parody of Taylor Swift. Like she's doing an imitation of herself.
Oftentimes it doesn't feel so glamorous to be me. All the right guys.
That's that lyric. Sometimes it doesn't feel so glamorous to be me. She got some pushback from a lot of the fans yesterday and into today because they said, I think it would be pretty good to be you.
Well, it's no Jenny from the Block, okay?
So do you think this is a little low energy? Is that what you're saying? It is not getting the blood pumping.
I feel like I shouldn't say a single word about a Taylor Swift song.
Because you worry they're going to come for you. I know. I was talking to a music a guy a couple weeks ago. I think I had him on the show last week. And we were talking about how there's a lot of fear for music journalists to be critical of pop, especially big pop stars like Beyonce or Taylor, because they're worried that their fans are so, sometimes toxic, that they will, show up at their house with pitchforks.
I would like to go on record and say I cannot stand Taylor Swift.
All right, everybody.
She's the devil.
Get her. Oh, my God.
Oh,
okay, well, it's pretty interesting. I have a lot of thoughts, sort of, which I'll keep to myself. But the record is out now. On not a little sleepy intro there to it, but I'm sure we'll warm up to it. I guarantee you're going to hear those songs everywhere for the next 6 months, nonstop, whether you like it or not. Interesting that this record is produced by Max Martin. He, of course, is the Swedish mega producer who was responsible for the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Britney Spears. You hear a little bit of that sort of dance, at least on that first record, but it also kind of reminds me a little bit of that Reputation era Taylor. So very, very interesting. Taylor Swift, new record. Lots of ways to get into the Taylor Swift spirit this week, too. They're doing a pop-up of sorts over at the Westfield Century City Mall tomorrow. Goes all the way to October 9th. You can reserve a spot. Just do a little quick Google of that. It's called Taylor Swift, The Life of a Showgirl TikTok fan activation. I imagine that will be very, very popular. Also, the female-owned bar called Banter Bar is doing an album release party complete with themed cocktails, a friendship bracelet station, small bites, and more. The dress code is described as bejeweled showgirl glam plus eras. The event, 21 and over, of course, that is on the South Sepulveda, the Banter Bar. That's tomorrow. That's Saturday from 7 to 11:30. And then downtown tomorrow from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m., the Resident Downtown Los Angeles is hosting a listening and dance party. So people who love her, I'm sure, are listening to her record right now and not listening to us. And that's fine. That's good. Good for them and good for her. A lot of speculation on what this record means, what the things that she is saying. The lore of Taylor Swift is very important as much as the music, the sort of reading between the lines. Who are you dissing? Who are you loving on? We, of course, know that she's engaged to Travis Kelce. I'm sure there's some songs about that. I can only imagine that our boss, Brian Long, who's the biggest Chiefs fan of all time, is curled up with a nice matcha latte listening to this nonstop.
You're listening to KFI AM 640 on demand.
Well, as we descend into Taylor Swift madness this whole weekend, we have another sort of very LA thing that has happened. Our friends over at Fox LA, Channel 11, investigated a hardware store that's pretty baller.
A small Silver Lake hardware store is building quite a following. Customers in search of screws and wrenches are also looking for an unlikely trend in fashion.
Show us the merch.
This is our little display.
This is it.
The Balor merch.
It's a pretty good haul.
Yeah, it's quite a bit. It's kind of expanded over the years.
Balor Hardware has been nailing it since 1959.
Nice. Bobby DeCastro, anchor over there. Good writing.
1959. The family-owned shop has battled the big box invasion, recessions, even natural disasters. But today, it's not only drywall and duct tape drawing crowds, it's threads. Somewhere along the way, the family realized that their store name was too good not to laugh at. Joe is fourth generation B-A-L-L-E-R. So pronounce it for me. It's
Balor.
Balor.
Yes.
Balor.
But it's not spelled that right.
Okay. You growing up as a Balor,
Yes.
it must have always been.
Always been a thing. And I don't really care as long as people are saying it.
Right.
Whether it's Balor or Baller, whatever.
You might as well own it now.
Yes, but it is Balor.
The Balor, not baller, logo, a blue circle with two hammers, sturdy and stylish. On the back, a vintage photo of his great-grandfather's ride, hammering home that classic California cool.
So basically what they've done is taken the store and they made a bunch of what you may call hipster merch. I don't know what the young people are called now. When I was that age and I would be interested in Silver Lake, I would have called it hipster. Now they're just Gen Z. I don't know. It's really a great idea. It worked really well for them. And honestly, you can't fault the hustle. It's a very LA thing. I don't know that there's a lot of Silver Lake people who are like hitting up the hardware store every single day. But I just think about like my grandpa or a grandpa type in the hardware store who's like picking up some roofing nails. And there's this little sickly teen putting on a trucker hat and taking a selfie in the front of the hardware store. Can't swing a hammer. No grit. Doesn't understand what grit is. In the fortitude way and also the sanding way. But it's kind of fun. And it does feel very LA to do this. Everything now has to have a sort of cultural importance. It feels like it's tailor-made for social media. I don't blame them. They're making it work. They're on the news. That's great. But why stop there? There are other places that we could do this with in Los Angeles. We might need the help of the Los Angeles Unified School District, but there is a Stoner Elementary School. That would be great. I could put a t-shirt with Stoner Elementary School on it. Or in that same vein, the Baked Potato in Studio City. In Koreatown, there's the Gaylord Apartments for fellas who like religion and each other. Up to Ohio. Oh, man, that was so smooth and I ruined it.
The Ohio Department of Transportation says there is no excuse for this kind of driving. If you're close to missing your exit, ODOT is urging you to just take the next one. It'll be safer for you and everyone around you. Dangerous behavior on Ohio interstates.
There's no excuse for putting people in harm's way just so you can avoid maybe a 2 or 3 minute detour.
Just this month, a truck carrying watermelons came to a sudden stop on a highway in the Cincinnati area.
Stay with me here.
Just this month, a truck carrying watermelons came to a sudden stop on a highway in the Cincinnati area. The reason? A car slowed down and crossed several lanes of traffic to get to an exit they were about to pass.
I grew up in Indiana, not far from Ohio. I do think that we were superior drivers to the Ohio people. Ohio, I think, are the kind of people who do a lot of left lane hogging. They're not listening. They don't care. But they do a lot of staying in the left lane, even if they're not passing. And that is something that I think is immediate suspension of your license. And there isn't a lot of quick maneuvering happening there. This isn't a big city. We're talking about Columbus, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, places that sort of just, they go at the speed that they go at. In Los Angeles, you could be crossing 7 lanes of traffic to hit your exit any time of day. And that is a normal thing that we all just tolerate. Now, luckily, the traffic is mostly so bad you don't have the opportunity to do that very quickly. But this is something I feel like that doesn't faze us very much. If you're there and things move a little bit slower, I have it on firsthand account. This can be very dangerous, especially in this situation.
All over the road.
It would have made a difference. If that truck driver's attention was on something not the road ahead, it would have been very, very differently.
Watermelons ended up all over the road, but ODOT's Matt Bruning says, luckily, no one crashed.
So there are a lot of lessons that we can learn from looking at some of these incidents.
It's not the first time in recent months ODOT has been...
It's true. You know, you don't want to do that, but especially if you're in Ohio. And so they're really looking out for people who are crossing over, especially those people who are going to be knocking those watermelons off. Don't want to do that. Back here in California, the HOA, the dreaded HOA, nothing stirs the soul or strikes fear in the hearts of a suburban person like those 3 letters of HOA. A new law in California has restricted the fines that an HOA can impose on its people to $100 per violation. They say that's because some of these fines have gone up to thousands and thousands of dollars, and that it's making people foreclose on their homes. HOAs typically have a lot of power. The CEO and president of Callahan and Blaine represents both homeowners and HOAs, says, generally speaking, it seems reasonable to bring it down because that is one of the biggest issues living in California. HOAs have very broad powers to enforce their rules. I thought the gas tax was up there. I thought our property tax is pretty high. I mean, relatively speaking, compared to other places, it's not. I understand Prop 30, but the homes are so expensive that there's a lot of property tax we pay. So now only $100 can they fine you for those violations. Violations like your garage door is painted the wrong color. I think it's probably good because a lot of those are irrational. I understand, though, at the same time, like, you know, bigger fines keep you from doing, it's a disincentive to do bad things. I got to be real with you. I grew up in a neighborhood that had an HOA. It's our little condo complex in Indianapolis that my mom lived in. Real Gladys Kravitz was the head of the HOA. She was like two or three houses down from us. Hated me. Speed limit was 20. I may have been going a little quicker. She starts following me on the street. I get home through the neighborhood. She pulls in the driveway behind me. Comes up to the car and knocks on the window, you know, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm probably like 17 years old. So I roll the window down and she yells at me. She says, I had to go a full 30 miles per hour to keep up with you. And I looked at her and I said, well, you didn't have to. There was a time when my mom's boyfriend was doing yard work, brought over like a rickety old iron wheelbarrow or something. A few days go by, then Gladys comes over. She rings the doorbell. And she's like, where is the wheelbarrow? I saw your stepdad using the wheelbarrow. Did you take our new wheelbarrow? We can't find it. We had nothing to do with her wheelbarrow. Our wheelbarrow was like rusted out, 60 years old. And then she said to my mom, open the garage. I'm going to look for the wheelbarrow. My mom is like, pound sand, Gladys. We didn't have her wheelbarrow. That's the kind of stuff that happens in HOAs. Mark Ronner doesn't know anything about that.
I do not. No, they sound terrible.
Ugh.
And it sounds like Mrs. Kravitz might have ended up in a shallow grave there in Indy.
Oh, well, I certainly didn't have anything to do with it. I don't know. I think she's still alive. She wasn't that old. She just was ornery.
There's no statute of limitations on that, you know.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying what I'm saying.
Okay.
Bucko.
All right, we can move on.
You're listening to KFI AM 640 on demand.
Hey, I'm Andy Reese-Marion for Mr. Mo Kelly. Just a couple minutes here left on the old show on this Thursday, October 2nd. George Norrie's coming up in just a bit. I think we'll hear from him in the next block. A little preview on what's going on that show. Some updates for you, gentlemen. Taylor Swift has spoken. I know you're really curious. She posted just a little after the album was released, 9:03 p.m. our time. Tonight, all these lives converge here. The mosaics of laughter and cocktail of tears, where fraternal souls sing identical things. And it's beautiful. It's rapturous. It is frightening. She mentioned the rapture. Couldn't have seen that one coming. She goes on to say, I can't tell you how proud I am to share this with you. An album that just feels so right. A forever thank you goes out to my mentors and friends, Max Martin, and Shellback for helping me paint this self-portrait. If you thought the big show was wild, perhaps you should come and take a look behind the curtain, she says. The Life of a Showgirl is out now. And like we said, produced by Max Martin, Shellback, and Taylor Swift. She also posted a bunch of photos that kind of look like hotel, boudoir, Italian restaurant, Terry Richardson vibe. It's some cool pictures. She's posing next to a martini with the twist, half drunk martini. I don't know about her. I can't make a comment on her condition. She looks fine. And a plate of spaghetti in what appears to be a hallway of a hotel. You can read into that as you like. In other Taylor Swift news, Rolling Stone already has reviewed, and I'm sure they had an embargo copy. Maybe they had an embargo copy. I don't know. Rolling Stone review is out. Taylor Swift conquers her biggest stage ever on The Life of a Showgirl. How many stars do you guys think?
4
out of 5. She got 5.
Ew.
They gave it. They gave her 100%.
But Rolling Stone only gave Led Zeppelin like no more than 2 stars. So what would they know about good music?
You mean like recently?
No, when Led Zeppelin were releasing music back in the day, Rolling Stone magazine never gave them good ratings.
In all fairness, I'm not sure that those people are still with Rolling Stone. However, it is a good point.
The essence is still there.
The essence is still there.
Yes.
I think that there was a thing we talked about last week about, I was just referencing about poptimism, where music reviewers have a hard time being critical of these uber huge artists because they maybe are concerned about backlash. Again, anybody who really cares about Taylor Swift is just listening to Taylor Swift right now. So that's fine. But let's go out to Brentwood where a tragedy has occurred.
People are really upset about this, some downright emotional. The owner of the Sinclair gas station says that customers have been coming in tears saying that the beloved dinosaur that used to fill this spot would make their day. But now the community is demanding that the Dino Nappers return their beloved green mascot.
I love Brentwood. I do. I will never be able to afford to live remotely close to that zip code, but I respect that people in that city can be moved by something like this. A dinosaur logo at a gas station. I don't know, logo is the right word. A statue can move them to tears.
Meet Dino Claire, a 4-foot-tall fiberglass dinosaur and an unofficial mascot of Brentwood. Often dressed for the holidays, sometimes in Dodger blue. She wasn't just a statue. She was a selfie star, a neighborhood landmark, and a daily dose of joy.
Everything must feed the algorithm. Whether you've got baller hardware or a statue in front of your gas station of a dinosaur, it's a spot for a selfie. A place to reflect on the Museum of Me.
But now her spot on San Vicente and 26th Street sits empty.
Even now, just looking down and not seeing it is it's a big shock.
Claire was dino-napped early Saturday morning. The prehistoric heist caught on camera. Watch as a thief in a hoodie casually strolls up with a power tool and cuts her free from her base. Minutes later, he's back with a blanket, wrapping up the 50-pound mascot and loading her into a white getaway truck.
I mean, at least he didn't want her to get cold or scratched. Does he respect the art?
A white getaway truck.
Beyond the initial, I guess, grief that comes with the dinosaur going, it's just like a why. Like why would they take the dinosaur? Like, I just don't get it at all. It really makes no sense. There's no monetary gain for starters, but also it's like taking a piece of the neighborhood away from us.
16-year-old Travis Waters works at the Sinclair and also grew up in Brentwood. He says the friendly green figure helped fuel his childhood love of dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs like my big thing. I had like dinosaur birthday parties, everything. And part of that was because of this. I don't know. It was just it's such like a fun.
And then he ended up working there at the gas station. The power that this statue has over the people in that neighborhood. He loved dinosaurs because of the statue, and then he started working at the gas station because of it.
This, I don't know. It's just it's such a fun logo, such a fun mascot. Yeah, it's just a bit heartbreaking.
Travis certainly isn't alone. Neighbors say Claire wasn't just decoration; she was part of the community's heartbeat.
It was kind of like a symbol. God. Like you'd come here, and it was just one of those things as a kid you'd remember.
Part of the
beat.
It was kind of like a symbol. Like you'd come here, and it was just one of those things as a kid you'd remember. Just honestly so random that someone would steal that.
It's a kid thing. They dressed it up all the time. The kids loved it. So I don't get it. I don't get it. And I don't get what's wrong where people have to do things like this.
Fair. That's a fair point. I also want to say, full disclosure, Mark Ronner, I did not steal the dinosaur. I'm not trying to downplay this because I am the person who dino napped.
We don't make light of corporate mascots at this station, okay? Think of how many careers in paleontology were launched by the Sinclair dinosaur.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible.
You're canceled. I'm canceling this guy.
How about some charges?
I'm canceling this guy. And 2 of them. And I don't cancel people, but they are canceled.
Watch out.
Charged with Grand Theft Brontosaurus?
Hey.
What would they charge a Flintstone with?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'll have to think about that.
The gas station's owner, again, just reiterating that Claire was a lot more than just a mascot. She showed up in family photos, even in Christmas cards. Now neighbors are hoping that police can crack this Jurassic-sized case and bring their prehistoric pal home.
I get it. It's important to have things like that.
There's some writing. A Jurassic-sized case. Give her a raise.
She's incredible. I think this is from Fox 11. I don't know who the reporter is, but
his case and bring their prehistoric pal home.
I don't know if that's that might be Haley. I'm not sure. Really good writing though. Absolutely. I agree. Give her the raise. She wove a lot of puns in there.
It's a Pleistocene plunder.
There it is. That's perfect.
that was a throwaway. You can have that one.
You T-Rexed me on that.
Yeah.
I feel bad for these kids, but I also wish that, there's a lot of money in Brentwood. You would think that maybe the gas station mascot isn't like, their savior. But hey, what do I know? Maybe when you're that well off, like it's the little things,
You're listening to KFI AM 640 on demand.
Breaking news right now. Some information coming into the newsroom. Large fire has been spotted at the Chevron refinery in El Segundo. Reports are that there was an explosion sometime around 9:40, and they have a picture up here on KCAL, and you can see it from a distance. I'm assuming that might be one of their cameras, maybe in the South Bay, looking out towards the fire. 2 pretty large plumes of smoke and then a bunch of active fire there. The reason I say it's from the south, maybe Palos Verdes looking north, is because you can see Los Angeles International Airport just behind it. You can see the planes coming and going there. The flames are, of course, visible from the airport. This refinery in El Segundo, just south of the Los Angeles International Airport complex there, burned back in 2022 in November. And then in December, there was another flaring event. And then there was a bigger fire back in 2017. And every time this happens, of course, we always think, oh my God, there go the gas prices. That's what you always think. No indication on if anybody's been injured. I'm sure we'll have some updates here very soon. Mark Ronner's working on that. But they're asking for people to stay out of the area from that fire. Like I said, around 9:42, emergency services got the call or started to respond, according to Citizen, because of a large fire following an explosion. Asking people to avoid the area. If you're familiar with the part of El Segundo, I mean, you can't miss the refinery. It's as big as the city itself. It's basically just south of the airport, south of LAX, in between the city of El Segundo and the ocean. 2606 Laurel Avenue is the location where it is reported, at least on Citizen. But this is a pretty big refinery. And like I said, in the past, it has burned. And air traffic still seems to be moving. I mean, a couple of videos, like I said, the live video that we're looking at here in our newsroom on KCAL, I can see that it appears that the planes are still going. So I don't know if traffic, if air traffic is being impacted by this. I imagine they would probably be pretty hesitant about that. Maybe they would keep planes from taking off or landing in the south complex of LAX. Ron, are you hearing anything about this?
Yeah, there's nothing much on the wires at all yet, and I've been keeping an eye on it, so I'll have whatever we get as soon as we get it.
Yeah. It does. I feel like every 5 years or so it catches on fire. And that last one was pretty tough. They did tell people the last time that we had this fire, they told people to shut their windows. There was a lot about that, a lot about the air quality. So I think especially if you're, it couldn't hurt to shut those windows if you're near there. You don't know what's burning. You don't know where it's blowing. Conditions right now today, I mean, it was very nice today. It's relatively calm, not a lot of wind. I believe that currently that there's something like 2 miles an hour wind really coming in. So you'll also have some of that cloud cover from the marine layer start to build up here in just a little bit. But large fire, like I said, at the Chevron refinery in El Segundo. No indication on what happened. As Marauner said, there's not a ton of information that we're getting. I'm checking also the KTLA news desk. I know that we are heading to the refinery with the helicopter. So if you want to see some more images of what's happening down there, the emergency response to that fire, you can check that out on KTLA Channel 5. And of course, keep it here on KFI. Thank you so much for being a part of the show tonight. My thanks go out to so many folks who were listening. And as always, you can find me on the internet at KTLA. And I'll be back, not this Sunday, but the Sunday after that on the 12th. Thanks to Tony, Mark Ronner, Nikki. I'm Andy Reesmeyer. This is KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
KFI AM 640, on demand.